Hello, everybody, and welcome once again for another class for the Teacher LA Academy. Forgive my face, I'm just enjoying this. I'm trying this out. I wish I could have it in my hair, but there's no filter for my hair. For this presentation, this will be focused more. This is technically the second topic for the second topic for fourth quarter for three guys. Okay. And of course, I know that you're now on your immersion period, and hopefully you could have time on watching this video and going through the PowerPoints that I'm going to be sharing to you. For this PowerPoint, this was given to us by our former research advisor. And yeah, you will see her name later on. Allow me to share my screen. Let me just stop share for a while. Yeah. Let me verify the settings. Okay. So I hope you could uh, see this. For this one, we will be talking about how to make a better infographics. Technically, this would involve using the Microsoft PowerPoint presentation. Of course, we are also going to be going through how you're going to deliver for your oral presentations. These are two topics in one. Let's get to know what is infographics. Okay, from the term itself, you would know that infographic is basically a combination of information plus graphic. This was new before, but right now it has been commonly used, and for some of you, you are very much familiar with this one. Okay. You would see a data-rich visualization. Of course, this is an educational tool. And the key term is that with infographics, it is easy for us to digest information, easy for us to understand information. No? Para dali na to masabtan kung unsa gid ay pasabot sa unsa deliver. Commonly, I think for still for some teachers and for most students, they would just copy paste the whole text. As discussed during the principles of multimedia learning, you have learned that already. Now, text, the difference between text, graphics, and of course you have pictures, but pictures and tables would basically fall under figures. So on the side, key ideas to make a very good infographic. We were just going to go through with the key terminologies. Of course, you need to consider na ang data name. Now, if you have that data, you need to think of a what? Okay, a story. Now, how are you going to deliver that story na masabtan? And why a story? Now, commonly you would think about just to deliver the data. Okay. But somehow it is best for you to deliver this as a story. What's the story behind your presentation? Of course, there should be shareability uh, na ma mahatag na to or ma-share na to sa uban. Okay. And of course, with technology right now, it's easy for us to share this. And you need to think about the design. Design nga dali ra masabtan, and this is some of the technicalities that we're going to be talking about. So ngano infographics, why do we use to do infographics? Okay, of course, they are very much attractive. No? Kani pa lang you would see different colors. Okay, they show expertise. How is that possible? Of course, there isn't much text in your presentation. So when you see that slide, for instance, um, you know exactly what to deliver. Okay, they are very much understandable because, of course, you will just see pictures in there, okay? And kanila mini siya, they can go viral, ganun, na? Okay. If they like your infographics, of course, a lot of people could basically use it, as their template. And of course, they boost brand value if you are going into marketing or whatever viral idea that you wanted to do. Next. The benefits of infographics, as per Dan Walker, the average person becomes distracted in 8 seconds. Tinuod ba kani? Murag 2 seconds na siguro ma-distract na mo. And with infographics, 25%, na, there is information overload. No? Daghan jud kaayong basahon. Nya kadiyot kayo mo na wala na. Okay, of course, visuals, na, as per Dan, and a lot of psychologists and studies would say that, of course, 75, mas lamig ito lang kung visual. Na? If I'm gonna write my name, for instance, without my picture, okay ra na, pero mas lamig kung may pangalan na apag yung picture, mas makahinumdum mo sa idea. And I think I've tried this now. The more senses that you're using, the better you will retain the information. Unsay naa sa infographics. Okay, and these are the four key ideas. Of course, we have text, but as mentioned with the mayors, learning principle, mas lamig gid kung less ang text, and of course we go with data. That could be figures and numbers, charts and graphs, and of course you have images if there would be any. Okay. So, unsay mga infographics na makuha sa PowerPoint. These are just some, and we're gonna go to detail. Column chart, pie chart, and line graph. And let's see. Na? Okay, here's a column chart. Kung mag-compare ko na kag-values, mas dami kong column charts. As seen in here, example 1, 2, 3, 4, mas makita, kani di ay siya mo ay minakamubo ug kaning gray mo ay pinakataas. So, mas dali na to makita ang comparison. So, for this one, you're gonna be using this kind of column chart. Pie chart, okay, is great for displaying percentage, no? Parts of a whole. So, I think there is one, just I gave the idea to present their presentation with pie chart, but it was more with the number of course respondents. Say I think 30. So it's best to see out of 30 pila ka buok ang ngayon ani ningon ana. This is the advantage of pie chart. Line graph, we can also compare values over time. Na? Okay, anong over time? Makita man kang change there. Na? You have the y-axis and you have the x-axis. And for this matter, if we're going to be comparing it with time, then naadari sa kadugay sa panahon ng taas kung niubos day ang ako ang kita. Okay, and that's a good area for comparison. Pie charts, donut charts are great for showing parts of a whole donut. Sablang but the same idea as pie chart. Okay, use bar chart below to compare values as mentioned. You have that already. Okay, next is timeline sa gamitan. Smart art, altering picture circles, text, and imagery. Now, let's see. Timeline. Sa makita nato. Go to smart art, process, and you would see in there. Makita na ninyo, no? If you want to show a timeline or basically a process for that matter. You can also add some pictures. Um, I could not say when exactly what year is this, but medyo dugay-dugay na gini siya na PowerPoint. But it's there in PowerPoint if you're gonna check it out. Okay? You can also do this one in PowerPoint. Makita ninyo ang flow. Timeline, na? Makita mo sa mga kausaban. Diba? Okay, next. You have data, you have timeline, and a flow chart, which is somehow the same as timeline. Okay. You would see this one. Okay, next you have data timeline, flow chart, and of course you have pictures. Now for pictures, um, we should go to or go with an open access, open source pictures. But if not, make sure you need to cite. Okay, in this presentation, you would see assign mas nindot. Okay, is it the left or the right one? It's basically up to you how you're going to present your information or your data, whether you have it close up or far away. Okay, it's either one or two. It's up to you also. But if I have to choose, yes, I think mas lamig ang right. No? Yeah, it gives emphasis on the orange one. Okay. Na tayong mga tips, no? As I mentioned, of course, dapat naas sa story. And of course, for presenters like you, it's best to remember, of course, that you are narrating a story. Na mas dali ni mo mahinumduman. Mao ni una, sunod, and the last. Of course, you have to keep it simple, consistent with what we have discussed with multimedia learning, principles of multimedia learning. Just keep it simple. Wala na daghan kayong mga kitsidera nga gipang-add ninyo. And of course, make sure nga makatouch siya og attention. Okay. Um, for oral presentation, I have asked some of the sections to prepare a 5-minute video recording and medyo makurat na because just recently I've spoken with Mom Janet and she would really want for the STEM to really go to oral presentation. But um, it will just be limited sa diri na lang din sa school, no? Dili na ta makuha o kanang lahi pang kuan panelist. So you have your presentation prepared, I mean your PPT, and then of course for your oral presentation. Okay, these are the technicalities for your oral presentation. Okay, the is focused, concise, and interesting for order to your discussion. Be well prepared, write a detailed outline, introduce the study, talk about the sources and methods, indicate if there are conflicting views about the subject, and make a statement about your new results if this is real. Okay, and of course, I want to use your PowerPoint presentation, but I know for most of you are going to be using Canva, so it's up to you. Okay, what is an effective PowerPoint presentation? Of course, it will just aid to the presentation and not the presentation itself, and that's quite tricky. And it 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 gives so much pressure sa presenters, and that should be the case, na? Dili ito kato is just an aid, na? Your PowerPoint should just be an aid to deliver your presentation or your idea. Okay, those and don'ts. Be brief and concise. Focus on the subject. As I mentioned, for the recorded, 5 minutes lang. And I think for oral presentation, oral live presentation, you would still go for 5 minutes presentation lang. Attract the attention. Um, uh, that's important. And for those who are with me for research, they know why why we were doing it to attract attention. At least for sa kadaghan sa presenters, ay, dito sila. No? And I think somehow it's working because I have been teaching and coaching research presenters. Okay? Nakadaog po taon ni. Attract attention, indicate interesting details. Yes. If possible, use relevant visual illustrations, pictures, maps, charts, and graphs. No? In my case, I would go with realistic pictures. No? Tinuod na pictures para mas ala, tinuod ni iyang istorya. And not so much with cartoonish pictures. Use bullet points or numbers to structure the text. Okay. That means if you're using bullet, you're not writing the whole text itself or the whole meaning of what you're talking about, but just key terms for us to remember. Make clear statements about the essence results of the topic of the research. Okay, don't write down the whole outline of your paper and nothing else. Don't write long, full sentences on the slides, okay, as discussed already. And going also with the again, Mayer's multimedia learning. But don't use distracting colors, patterns, pictures, decoration. Uh, what principle is that one to just keep it simple? Okay. Don't use too complicated charts graphs relatively easy to understand. Okay, that's a good one. For the mechanics, ideally, you would go from 8 to 10 and you would know these parts. 8 to 10 is not just for us, but this is quite common for the division miss up and of course for other institution also asking for presentation. They do not want you to have a lot of slides. So 8 to 10. And make sure with that 8 to 10, you're able to deliver the story of what you want to deliver. Time, yes, we will keep 5 minutes, time allotment for presentation. Normally, we would have 5 to 7 minutes. Okay. Open forum from the panelists. We're going to be asking for the live presenters, 2 to 3 questions from the panelists, and not much for the audience for this matter. Okay, and cars need to be present. What are you going to write in there? Okay, I'll just flash everything in here. Let's see. Okay, of course you need your title. Okay, name of the designation and of the school. You have the introduction, which covers the context and rationale, and the research gap, primarily the problem. And then for three, research question and objectives. Okay, what do you wish to achieve in your research, and how did you achieve? That's your methodology, and of course, just a summary of results and discussion. Okay, you need to consider that you're only given 5 minutes, 5 to 7 minutes for your presentation, and all of this one should be part of it, including your conclusion. The references, there's not much needed for you to discuss. Just have it there and just flash it on the last part of your presentation. And that's it for infographics and the oral presentation right now. I believe I have shared an example and a template for the oral presentation, but I'll be sharing it again, the PowerPoint and the video that I did during the presentation. Okay, that's it. And enjoy your immersion and see you next time. Bye bye.